Mask off. This is the real podcast. Mask off. This is the real podcast.
We are recording. What up, though, everybody? It's your boys, the real Mask Off Podcast. Yes, sir. And we back with another one, man. We got a good episode here today of marriage. Why do couples stay together? Marriage ain't hard because you married the wrong person. Marriage is hard because it forces you to meet the version of yourself you've been hiding from. Every insecurity, every bad habit, every childhood wound, marriage will introduce you to it in HD 4K. He'll put it right there in your face. He'll be like, hey, smack, look. You left your drawers in the middle of the floor. Pick that shit up. Oh, yeah. We back. We back with like the original Real Mask Off podcast. You guys remember on episode 1? We couldn't get through the episode without coughing our lungs out. And we ain't editing it out.
I was trying to get out of here.
He went under the table. Why do
what are we talking about today? Marriage.
Yeah.
Marriage is what it is, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think with marriage, I just want to say this before we get into it. To me, at least in marriage, everybody's sitting around trying to find out who they can spend the rest of their life with and be happy with. And I think the real way we should start to look at it is more who you can find and suffer with.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the reality of things. There's going to be good times and bad times. I think you can enjoy good times nearly with everybody, right?
Yeah.
Because they're good times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There may be somebody in the corner that can't, but it's who you can find that we're going to have hard times. We're going to suffer. We're going to have issues in every level and facet, from parenting to work to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But who you can go to battle with. It reminds me more of the Spartans and the Greeks and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, who you get so close with that person standing next to you. The Spartans used just men and boys to get them close together.
Yeah.
But
pause.
You know, I'm just saying. But if you could do that, if you could find somebody that you know, hey, at least I can go through hard times with this person. This person's always there for me, and I always have their back.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, what I know leading into it, like I know a lot of times in my relationship, I've seen where in the beginning, people have the wrong idea of what marriage is. Like going into it, they thinking that getting into marriage, once you get married, that's the finish line, right? And when you have to realize that marriage is the start, right? It's the start of a whole new chapter. Even picking the individual you are intending to fight, like you said battle with in this world. You have to pick that person wisely and understand that you're going to deal with different levels of that individual. It's a job, and it starts when you are creating a life with each other now in unison. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people have the ideal of what a successful marriage looks like, which is good. That's the end result. They don't think about the build.
You know, you'd have to, in order for you to look at it as a successful marriage, you'd have to look at the end and the period of time and things like that. You know, we all grow, though, differently, too.
Yeah.
So, you know, not only you have to find somebody who you can kind of suffer with to realize that there's going to be some sufferings and who you can take down these battles with, or it's also, too, where you guys are going to grow differently.
Yeah.
You know, 2 trees side by side grow differently.
Yeah.
And do you have the grace and understanding to accept that?
Yeah.
With your significant other as you grow too? It's not going to be easy, you know. You're going to have your stumbles and your mishaps, but realizing at least get you partway there to understand, well, you know, I don't think the way I did when I was 20. And we grow. Sometimes we don't even grow at the same time, which that can be a problem.
Yeah.
Goals are different then.
Yeah, and that's the part of the work that I be inferring to. I say that a lot. Like, a lot of people do have the end result of the marriage, and they expect it at the beginning, not understanding that you are first learning another person. That part comes through the dating.
I was just gonna tell you I'm good with that, because I was gonna light the cigarette and I grabbed the pen to light the cigarette. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's how messed up I just need a couple of hits with that shit.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, brother.
It's all good. This is raw enough for it. We at this point. Oh shit. But yeah, I realized that, you know, early off, we go in with expectations, and then we're faced with reality. And a lot of people think that love is just enough.
So break that down. Okay, so you say early on we come in with expectations. Obviously, male expectations are different than female expectations, and everybody's expectations are a little different. But as a male, you coming into a relationship, what's kind of the expectations you think finding somebody and going into a marriage? Because I think that they are going to be somewhat similar but somewhat different.
Yeah, they a lot of times. Well, you in the dating phase, right, before it becomes the marriage from the person, I think.
Okay, we're taking it. We're going to walk it all the way back.
Okay,
take it to step number 1.
When you meet somebody,
I would say probably the first thing that would have to be done, would you both have to have trust?
Yeah.
To even go out on a date and talk?
Yeah.
First?
Yep. You have to, and I think first
trust is like a question mark in the air for both of you.
I think
at that moment, you got a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But you're not fully sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would be next?
In most cases, and I can only speak for myself, right? In the beginning part, was my first ideal may have been at that time was like sex. You know,
that's the male version. That's
right.
You're leaning more to the full male side in that.
Yeah,
that's probably true.
That's only
the physical.
Yeah,
there's a physical attraction.
Physical, yeah.
That probably comes with the men first. Is physical.
Yeah, I think it does come from both sides. I think both, like, I think, and because I can't speak from a woman, I've never been one. You know, I came from one, but I've never been one. So
you're saying both of them go to trust?
I think they start with the physical attraction first.
Start with the physical?
Yeah, I think that's always, you have to literally like that person in order for the interaction to even happen, right? You have to think that person's pretty, and that person thinks you're pretty and smart and whatever.
I want to throw one in there.
Oh, yeah.
I want to throw one in there, and I'm going to give you like a little analogy to it, too. Maybe one is in there for women, and I don't know, women. You can let us know.
Yeah, you gotta let us know. We ain't never
put
been
words
chicks
in your mouth. But I would think one would be safety. And the reason why I say safety is because I've said this before, where if a woman is walking through, my wife, she has to go to the parking garage at night, you know, and it scares her sometimes. In a woman's mind, I've talked to her, I've talked to other women, that a lot of times one of the things that they think that could happen is I could get raped and murdered.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know about other men, and I get that feeling for women. I understand that, especially if you're a smaller woman. It's dark.
Yeah.
You're amongst cars and just in a parking structure.
You're by yourself.
Everything echoes.
Yeah.
It sounds like people are walking behind you.
Exactly.
You know, so I
because there
totally
are people
get that
walking
fear
behind you. You just can't see them.
But I do not understand. I don't see other men saying to themselves, in one of their first things is, I could get raped. I think for me, raped would be way down at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Like if I was walking through that parking garage and I went through and I'd be like, oh shit, somebody could jump out and try to want to fight me or rob me. Yeah. Robbing might be the first thing, even though I'm broke.
Yeah.
You know? And it'd be like, wait, why would they want to rob me? Maybe it's a psycho serial killer, you know? Maybe it's a I'm gonna shut that window. Hang on.
That plug got a boogie fried.
All right, sorry, y'all. But my point to it all was rape. I mean, I might even think a demon is gonna jump out and attack me before I ever rape would cross my mind.
Rape does not cross my mind in a
Wait a
situation,
minute,
in
I
a
could
dark
get raped
situation
in here.
in a big ass.
But
Motherfucker
going
trying
back to
come
my
get your
point,
butt.
I think sometimes for a girl, you throw physical, I throw trust, and then also a little bit of safety.
Yeah, no,
That might come with trust.
That's from a woman's perspective. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do feel like a woman. I think that might be the woman's first visual is would I be safe with that person? I think that's there. Like, well, most men as kids, right? I think most men's first is the natural. You're horny, right? And she's hot, you know. So
Especially when you're young.
yeah, and you like so. Now, getting older, I think I think that's the man's like natural nature, unless you were taught properly, right? Like, I can only speak from my perspective. Like I said, my first thing and intuition was always how good that person looked, right? And then with their conversation,
Yeah. Okay, so now we're into a next step. Now you go out, everybody feels sexy and safe and trusting,
sexy and safe. You feel me?
And now we go out.
Cause I knew I was sexy. She had to be sexy. You know what I'm saying? But no, she actually had that braids too. Like, I like good. I find the beauty in everybody.
What about this? Throwing this into it. Nowadays, people just meeting online first.
Yeah.
So are you even putting all that physicality on the back burner for a minute? Trust and safety comes in way quicker probably online.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on if you see a picture or not. And we all know, anybody knows if you're meeting somebody online, nobody's fully trusting that picture. At least you probably shouldn't.
You shouldn't, because you definitely could be catfished in that beat.
Yeah.
You
could be talking to Kathy, but it was really Carl.
It was David. Well, I wanted to say David in that. I don't know. That's what I feel like that's the first beginning.
So relationships start. Now we're getting into conversation.
Mm-hmm.
How are you finding the person? Is it when people go out for the first time, is it like an interview sitting across from each other? You're having your first time together, talking to each other face to face.
Yeah.
Is it like an interview process?
Yeah.
In your mind?
From both sides too, I think it is. Because like it's not really like an interview process. It's more like telling somebody your bio.
It's like dogs sniffing their butts. You're sniffing each other's butts right now.
Like Brutus. So watch out for Brutus.
Sometimes BBLs stink, and it's not them. So give them grace. Everybody knows that.
BBL Drizzy. I'm sorry.
All right. So you got you're at a date. You're sitting across from the lovely young Schaefer.
Mm-hmm.
Your first times together.
Yeah.
What are some of the key things that popped in your mind that you're like
her ambition? You know what I'm saying? She had a drive. Like she was at the time, she was working 2 jobs, raising our baby. You know what I'm saying? She had a lot of a level of energy, like I'm about to make it. I gotta push for greatness, you know what I mean? And that's the same drive I was on. I was like, yeah, it's time to elevate. And that was.
So is this like a Bonnie and Clyde version where it's us two against the world?
Yeah,
we're both on kind of the same levels, but we both have this drive and ambition to something better.
Mm-hmm. Well, in our situation, it was like, because my family was they received Schaefer, you know what I'm saying? Because they knew her. Me and Schaefer knew each other as kids. We just reconnected after I got out of prison.
Well, you jumped ahead just a second. I want to go back to that later about family and understanding. Mm-hmm. But still, in the first signs, you said you got ambition, you got energy.
Yeah.
You already think she's pretty. You have an attraction.
Yeah. I love light skinned women with Colorful eyes. That's my attraction.
Now, all being said,
Yeah.
what we're talking about is marriage. So in these situations, both guy and girl, or guy and guy, girl and girl, both have to be on the same page that they want marriage in the future. Because we're not talking as far as just dating and just living,
Right.
just playing the field or doing whatever. We're talking about people who actually had the idea of getting married and are out dating for that purpose,
Yeah,
right?
That was me.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that has to be both on the same page too,
It does,
because one can overshadow and take control of the other on that.
And that's what we'll talk about even more later in the episode, because it does cause problems in a relationship if both of y'all are not on the same page as that. Because like in my case, I wanted to be married. Schaefer did. Schaefer just, we could be together, and that was her. So that was a situation too.
Yeah.
And you are involved. It's just based off of like love and like genuinely like.
So you have this somewhat interview process between each other, and after any amount of time, maybe a holiday comes up or something comes, and then you bring that person along with the family. And in your mind, you're thinking that, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person possibly. So it's another set of interviews.
Yep.
Now they meet the people.
Yep.
That could be, part of their family.
Yeah.
If you don't already know them. And we're just going to say that you two didn't meet right that early. So that makes a big difference too. Like you said, if you grew up in the same area and a lot of people already know each other.
Yeah.
We're going to, for just argument's sake, say nobody doesn't even know each other. The families don't know each other. Now there's a different standard, it seems like, with your family, right? You want more, better.
Yeah.
You're going to give that person less grace, less understanding.
Yep. Because your expectations and that's when we circling right into
your expectations for your person is much higher.
Yeah. And even the people around them also have a higher expectation than what that person has for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe that person, like that, like a lot of people deal with that in marriage, where the family didn't feel like the husband or the wife is good enough for said partner, and and the partners feel like these two, we are perfect together, and they're like, there's a lot of that,
What I'm trying to allude to is making these steps to marriage is you're not even realizing, but you already are having major bumps in the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In trying to all mingle. And that's already a good thing, because you're getting a taste of some struggles that will be coming along.
Yeah.
Because the longer you have issues, now you get married, and then, your in-laws don't agree, or you guys don't see eye to eye, that's going to cause problems down the road too.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm still trying just to keep alluding to that factor, is you're going to need to find somebody you can suffer with.
Yeah.
Because just in everyday life, not everybody's on, Team Austin.
Exactly. And most of the time it's not. And that's why when I draw on this topic to most people, when I'm explaining to people, because a lot of people always ask like, Austin, why do you think most marriages don't work? And I'm like, because a lot of time people just don't want to put in the work as necessary for that relationship to work. A relationship itself in its entirety is work. It's hard work. You got to be prepared for that journey. Like you said, not even necessarily just the struggle in it. You got to learn how to be able to do your day-to-day operation. You guys are unifying a life.
There's no fairy tales.
Yeah, it's not a fairy tale.
There's no fairy tales.
You're going to go through what life presents, but you have to continue to learn how to prepare for life, and at the same time, learn your partner, because that's a learning process too. There's a lot of characteristic traits that you had in the beginning that you don't have now, and you grown comfortable in your position in marriage. You know what I mean? And you are now looking at it from the perspective of like, you're comfortable with that identity of that individual, but you're constantly working on yourself and you're trying to grow and that and they're trying to hold you to them old standards, if that makes sense, you know. So it's like it's growing. You can't get comfortable because you may change. I may be one way one day, and now that I've realized that way was not conducive to the growth of our family, then I have to change, or you had to change. You have to understand that within your partner, and
not look at it as they're hypocrites.
Exactly.
Understand that they're trying to change.
Yeah.
Hypocritical thinking is sometimes good.
Yeah.
Sometimes needed.
Yeah.
So we jump forward now. Everybody's married.
No.
What I want to say is, so you jump a little forward, and now you guys are married, right?
Mhm.
Now, for some, the girl might get pregnant beforehand, and then people just get married.
Yeah.
Or you might get pregnant after marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that going back to, if one person isn't quite ready, but then a baby comes involved, that just kind of knocks it over sometimes to them being ready. And I do want to stress out there that just because there's a child involved doesn't mean you have to get married.
That's the most important part.
So remember that. So don't understand, like, society, the child shouldn't have to live like that. And you guys shouldn't have to live like that.
Exactly.
There's no need to, when you can be amicable and have an agreement outside of it.
Yeah, you both came together and made a child. That child deserves to have a correct life and see what a healthy relationship
The
is.
child will respect the honesty between each other first.
100%.
You know, as that child gets older, we'll say, well, shit, my parents had me, but they didn't work it out.
Yeah, they wasn't good together, but they were great parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the whole bottom line at the end of the day. And and you will be good people, period, for understanding that and operating in that capacity. And I know a lot of people do that, you know, like, I don't like people, my parents' business out there, but it's the truth. It's my reality. My father, when they separated, my father and mother separated, you know, with me, he waited till me and my brother were older. They may have had problems that they didn't display in front of us, you know, behind closed doors, but whatever their situation was, he waited till we were old enough to comprehend what was going on, and never, because like I said, I grew up in a 2-parent household. My father was there. My mother and father was married for 21 years. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know, they separated, understood that they were toxic together as far as a relationship, but we can work out. How you say that word?
Amicably.
Yeah, together.
I got it right the first time and second time. I was shocked.
The second time, I loved it. I'm cotton-mouthed. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So to have because I knew a couple where they were together, and both of them, especially the guy, would always say that when our daughter turns 18, get a divorce.
Yeah.
And then that's what they actually did. I don't know. That's also, if you could make that, I guess, work and everybody happy, I mean, good for you. I think sometimes it's got to be some tense shit going on in there. But that also shows that you guys are suffering, but you're just not working on any problems. You kind of given up on that part. You're just saying, okay, I'm going to take this 18-year sentence, and when I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like that's how you will make your child feel in that sense.
It's trauma bonding.
Yeah. That's trauma bonding, definitely, in that sense, especially if you two have also been through the same things and going through that. But let's say now you're married. How does marriage change? You got one kid comes around. You've been married together for about a year, and now you got a little place together, apartment together, and someone gets pregnant, hopefully the girl.
Yeah.
And it's 2026. You never know.
Never know.
And then you have a baby brought into this beginning of the family. For the people out there who are just starting out or thinking about getting married or just have maybe been in the same similar shoes, how does that change? One baby. Does one baby change?
Yeah, it
a lot at the time.
Yes, it changes the whole entire culture of the relationship, because now you're not only operating and trying to understand each other as individuals, right? You have to now learn each other as individuals while learning each other as parents while raising a child.
Yeah.
It just adds more layers to it, because now you have to create a new identity. The mother has to become a mother. The woman has to become a mother. The man has to become a father, and you have to learn how to become that. This is when you're saying in the context of your first child.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You were learning each other.
A speed bump in the road, though, when we always say kids spell love Time.
Yep.
People spell love Time. And
Yeah.
to give you a good example of that is where the woman is pregnant, the baby is born. Now the woman has a better bonding with the baby, and the man might have less time from the woman and feel less loved.
Yep. From both the child and the mother.
Yeah.
Because he has to go into overdrive because he now has to provide for the family.
He might work more.
He has to,
you know,
especially in 2026, you're faced with the reality of the responsibility, not for only yourself and your wife, now your child. You have to provide for them a place of safety and security, and you're building this with your wife, and now you're building this as a family. You're building a legacy now. It gets deeper. It's more contextual to it. Like, it's more context to it. It makes you dig a little bit deeper into the understanding and the works of your relationship, because it's hard to juggle those things. That's what I mean by marriages work, because those different intangibles change the narratives of how everything moves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like you feel more separated from the wife. From a male's perspective, you're more separated from the wife, and your child is getting more bond time with the mother, maybe because the mother, there's more attentive there, and you're separate. That's like you said, love is spelled Time.
Well, when you're young, you just might not realize all this at the time. Looking back, you will. You'll look back at it.
We're talking to two men that are experienced.
Yeah, but at the time, you feel some kind of way. But I think, once again, if these things going in, then both of you can acknowledge it and kind of get past that.
Yeah.
Because your time apart's going to be less, and now we throw another child in there.
Absolutely.
And so now you have two kids, you both work, less time for each other. Let's say you have different shifts.
Mm-hmm. Less time with each other.
Mm-hmm. Does marriage tend to get on autopilot after children to the point where you don't even care to understand that maybe if you're not happy or they're not happy, your significant other isn't happy, where everything's just on autopilot with work, kids, so no issues ever get addressed?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't even vent to each other at the same time because maybe your shifts overlay. You might only see each other an hour or two a day.
Yeah, when you see each other, whatever conflict that you ran into is not really being addressed, because it's also getting mixed and coagulated with work drama, the shit that you have to deal with at work.
Yeah.
Life.
You bring home with you, work home with you and stuff.
So that's amplifying whatever problems that are not being addressed anyway. So it's a build up, and what happens when it builds up? So
everybody is shutting down at that point and running on autopilot.
Yep.
And then that also, if you do that, that seems like that could lead to a crash and burnout. And then sometimes we've heard these stories where both men and women do it, where they've been married, 25 years, had the kids, they're out, and now they're in their late 40s where they want to be a child again. Mm-hmm. They want to experience their teenage years. That's a perfect example where these two didn't grow together and the autopilot kicked in. It's like Click, the movie with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
You can easily, if you're a drug addict of any kind, you're holding that remote and you're like Click. And in marriages, it can be the same,
mm-hmm.
where it's just autopilot and you're not feeling anything until you do.
Exactly.
And then when you do, we're all blowing up.
Mm-hmm. That's not addressing, and that's why communication and realizing it in the relationship, like realizing the problem. I'll tell this to Schaefer all the time. It's like the best thing that we can always do is whenever there is a problem, is just always address the problem, because at the end of the day, the reality is it's you and I, right? We're here, we're trying to get this thing together. We're building something. We both have an understanding, a goal put in place with each other that we need to come together with, and we need to operate that. And like, I know that's complicated for a lot of people, because addressing and accepting the fact that maybe you were the problem in that situation is hard. That you're dealing with your
if
pride.
there's a problem, you're always the problem.
Absolutely.
Not 100%.
Yeah.
But you're part of the problem 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the real perspective that people have to accept, and that when you're growing with inside a marriage, like we only can speak from the man's perspective. We love to get the woman's side of it as well. We can only speak from us as husbands, and then the reality of life and how it all comes together. But life is life always. Everything else outside of us that's going on is always going on. You got to realize that in your partnership is constantly just working on yourselves, because you can't change a problem unless you are the change in the problem. Right?
Can I go back to something you said?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned communication,
mm-hmm.
and I'm just gonna have a little like side tangent about this. Is like, so communication. Well, you said, well, they're not having the communication. Well, we're not having the communication because we don't have the time.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean. There may be not time made or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think the higher powers in a conspiracy type mindset and thinking I have, where it's communication controlled.
Yeah.
They know that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's keep them working hard.
Yeah. And that's when you have, as the individual, right? You got to always realize, like, as the individual, that there's a system in place, right? And how you break from that, I believe, because I'm working on it as well, is just like you force time. Right. Yeah, you got to work, but sometimes you got to battle
against. You got to battle against that, because if there's some sort of hierarchy or even spiritual darkness or whatever that wanted to battle love, well, you got hate.
Yeah.
And then you also have, well, what makes time grow, or what makes love grow? Oh, time. People need time. They got time.
Yeah.
They love time in that love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd push hate and take away time.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's I'm just sorry, y'all. I had to throw that in there because it just seems like America does that sometimes.
No, cause it is. And that's literally what I feel like the agenda is. And that's another thing in marriage that you have to recognize, is that those are the agendas of society. The system is definitely pushing that agenda. And if you recognize it, then you can create the solution.
And they're going to push 100 agendas all on your family and everything, and you guys all at the same time. So I guess just what I'm kind of allude to is the grace aspect. Mm-hmm. Realize, and I think sometimes people don't understand what grace is because it's just thrown out there. Mm-hmm. Just say, well, give them grace. Well, how do you do that? Well, I don't. I guess you'd say, you're forgiven.
Yeah.
No,
you don't judge from the get-go.
No, yeah, exactly. You just realize that person is doing something that they might not even be understanding what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's part of grace. And understand that I know I have been in that position with my wife, plenty of issues, mm-hmm. plenty of times mm-hmm. where I was not at all understanding to what she was going through, and she was understanding because I was too much of building a wall of what I needed taken care of and I needed done.
And I'm gonna add this to that, Dan. What you got to understand is stop doing what the one defeating factor in any relationship, and stop assuming. See, it's especially in a marriage. The good thing about that is when you see your person going through something or doing something that you don't like, or you feel like it's a judgmental situation where you would judge that, like, why is this? Go over there and ask the question. Don't just sit there and assume.
Yeah, I'm glad you said for assuming, because assuming is the way I definitely lived my marriage, in the sense of it's maybe even assuming, and then I don't want to say taking it for granted, but just maybe not understanding it, where my wife's at home with 5 kids, I'm working, and I just assume she always has it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Your
She always
expectations,
she
we're gonna
always
have
has it. And she just assumes I have it,
Mhm.
and neither of us want to bend and say we don't have it right now.
Yes, and that's the
You don't want to show that weakness because, especially in the man, you think that you got to be the head of the household and running things, and or whoever is the head of the household.
But
That you feel that man or woman.
But that's still, I think the man is always still the head of the household, regardless if he's making more money in the house or not. He's the head as far as the leader of the household.
Oh, I hear a lot of women screaming right now
That's
about
cool.
that shit, saying, "I pay these bills.
That's good.
I pay this shit, motherfucker. You ain't coming in my house."
Yeah, it shouldn't be a man. A man shouldn't be. If a woman is making more money than him, as far as a career wise, that's cool. If the man, but that should have also another level of drive in that man to elevate himself to get to a status where his wife doesn't even have to work anymore, because that's the key goal.
Yeah, but that might not even be plausible. You know, you could have a woman who's already established, already set,
Yeah.
career oriented, minded, has a kid with a guy who's now a stay at home dad.
Yeah, and everybody's situation is different. It's
But
just
yeah,
like-
they may want that. You know, there's obviously, you know, levels to different things. Whereas a man might want a more subservient woman.
Yeah.
A man might want more of a domineering woman to take charge more, so he doesn't have to think of shit, and vice versa.
That's their preference.
Yeah,
And
it's your
whatever-
taste. It's what you like.
It's whatever they're into, and that's everybody's intangibles. They have to have that understanding. That's where the communication comes in. That you have to talk to each other and not have to guess. You shouldn't have to guess with your partner. That's your That's your life.
Well,
partner.
that's where we go back to in the very beginning of a happy fairy tale. That means you're all simpatico and you read each other's fucking minds, and you go throughout life all on one page, one atom to get combined, and that's not gonna happen.
No, it can happen.
I think it can happen at times, but it does not happen through the whole
Yeah,
relationship.
no, that's what the buildup is for. That's what I think a lot of people's
It's working out till
expectation
those
versus-
times.
Exactly. I think a lot of people's expectations going into a relationship is supposed to already be that. Now, understanding that in order for you to have that, you have to connect with your partner on every level. You have to ask those questions. You got to be completely involved in your partner. And yes, the system is going to throw different intangibles in your way that's going to try to knock y'all off y'all goal, but you got to realize what the game is. At the end of the day, when everything else is done, it's still just you and her, right? So if you have that understanding, then you need to stop operating in the way that where you feel like you have to, and just start moving in the way that what you guys need to for each other. You know what you need to provide what you have, right?
Yeah.
So just have that number, and whatever you need to do to make the income to have that number, and then focus every other time on each other, whatever you and her build.
Yeah.
You and your family.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality of it. Yeah, you're going to have your problems. Life is going to throw everything else at you, but that's everything outside of you and her. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing out of your control. The thing that you control is with you and her. So you guys have to continuously learn each other and what and what life does to you in those situations. When life hits you, you got to be there for your partner. Don't sit there and guess and expect her or him.
Break it down to each other and say, we knew that type of shit was coming. Like you do with a partner at a business.
Mm-hmm. Proper preparation prevents poor
performance. You know that's
poor
coming.
performance.
But I do want to go back to something you said again.
I like that.
Yeah, because we got to go back to this, because I'm gonna need people to comment on this.
Yeah, we do. Get your comment.
Is the breadwinner the one that controls the household no matter what?
No.
You say no?
No.
I say maybe, yeah.
No, I always look.
But sometimes the breadwinner isn't responsible enough with money, and you need that counterbalance. But like decision making, the head of household, like you said, no, the man still should be. Well, if the man ain't working, or the man ain't bringing in the income the same as the woman,
why ain't the man working? And then there's more to work. It's more to work. Like the getting the money.
What if he's hurt? What if he can't work?
Yeah. Now those situations. That's why I said this. It's what's that called when you
how are you a man to some people? Because some people might think that manly stuff isn't like cleaning, for example, right?
Yeah.
I know it's stupid. I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
The vacuuming, the cleaning the bathrooms, and the taking care of the kids. There's still, a whole generation that thinks that that's just absurd and things like that. But how does the man become the man doing that? Right. So that you said the man should take control over the household. What I want to know is, you already are in a sense, right? Because
Right.
because I'm being honest, like I didn't control the household at all.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My
Exactly.
wife did
100%.
with the kids. There's 5 kids. Like
Yeah.
I'm not there all the time.
I'm the law.
You know?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You should fear me.
That's it. Yeah, and no, and like,
But how? But then how does it's like they kind of already do run the household. They just don't have the monetary assets going along with it.
So this is what I'm thinking. Like a lot of people get
They
confused.
should get
in those-
paid for it.
A lot of people get confused in those different situations. So like if your wife is, say for instance, your wife is the breadwinner, right? So you're still the man, right? So just because like your roles are different, right? So if the wife is at work, then everything that your wife does when you're a stay-at-home dad, you do all those roles. So like you cook, you clean, but you do it on a level of a man though.
Well, what is
Like-
that? And
like-
what is the manly decisions versus the womanly decisions?
Like-
That's what I'm trying to get to.
The differences in those are like people say roles, right? So
Yeah.
most of like people's expectations is the man is the breadwinner. But what happens when the man is not the breadwinner? Like you said, if we're going to use the situation where the man is injured, right, and he can't work,
That's
right?
different.
He has to
Let's say-
stay at home, right?
Yeah.
So he should operate still as a man and try to move in a competitive capacity where I am going to outshine my. This is what the difference in the roles. Like if the role, we know that this is the whole role identity was as an
So,
agenda.
You're going to
So-
shine. The house is going to be extra clean.
It's going to be
You're gonna
extra
have-
clean.
You're going to have the best meals.
The best meals. You're gonna cook the best meals. The kids are gonna always be crispy. I'm talking about like you gotta elevate that whole role because you're a man. Like your capacity of able to like put forth effort, it should be 10 times harder than a woman. She's just got a better job than you. We're conflicting that as the identity of what the roles are in the relationship. But if you that's just the roles in the relationship. That ain't the relationship. You know.
Yeah, it's more. I know what you're saying. It's not necessarily even the roles. It's more of I don't want to say roles because that seems to break it down as gender, but it's more of the
But it
responsibilities.
is that's the whole
But it's more the
social
respons-
agenda.
But it's more of the
Agenda.
responsibilities.
I said
'cause
agenda.
it's because you have different, sexes marrying each other, same sexes marrying each other. So now it just breaks down to, I guess, responsibilities of who's what or of who's where.
Yeah, and
In the
doing what in
relationship.
a relationship. And another thing to put onto that whole little topic, bro, is what a lot of people don't understand that we're pointing out to you guys is that in your relationship, you'll learn all of this in your marriage. It don't matter what nobody else thinks about what your marriage should be because they're not your marriage. Your marriage is based off of your relationship, what you and your partner learned about each other and what you emulate to the world as the individual. Stop trying to be like everybody else's marriage. Everybody's marriage is different. That's the reality of it, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna-
All your relationships are all going to have different relationships to go through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going through life
Yeah.
together. You know what I'm saying? And your life is not the same as the next person. So how in the hell do you think that your marriage is going to be the same as somebody
Well,
else's
because we
too?
compare everything though to that.
Yeah,
we
that's
compare
society and the
to
system.
the Joneses, right?
Mhm.
We do our neighbors, everything.
Yeah.
They get a pool. I'm getting a bigger.
Mhm. Yeah, and
trying
that's
to compete.
trying to compete. You're trying to emulate somebody else's lifestyle.
Well, marriages then can evolve to a big competition in neighborhoods,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They already are in a sense. You
Yeah.
know, who's sleeping with who's doing what,
Yeah,
who's not
whose family's
happy.
better? Who's
Yeah.
everybody wants to know everybody's tea. But if you focusing on your relationship with inside of your marriage, and while most couples don't work, we got to understand that the reason why they don't work is because we allow the distractions outside of the relationship to emulate inside of our relationship.
Seen and unseen distractions.
Yeah, you got to go with your reality.
That's where you have to understand what grace really means.
Mhm.
To understand grace, you have to understand that there's seen and unseen forces. You cannot understand grace.
Yeah.
You'll just say something. It's just like, I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the same person that just always says, I appreciate you, I appreciate you, I appreciate you. You don't even know what it means.
Yeah.
You're just
The-
spitting words.
You ever sit back and ask that person that you said, I appreciate you, do you feel appreciated? That's those questions that they don't understand, and we got to lock in on that too, guys, out there in the world.
There's a lot of fakeness though that we go through outside of the home.
Mhm.
You put on a different mask, right? Most people try to put on their work mask. When they answer the phone, it's their work voice.
Mhm.
It's trying to be fit into this club that you're in and worrying too much about what everybody else is going to think. And I started looking at it like this. The ones who succeed are 1 in a million, right? So if you go to a job, do you just want to be the 1 in 100 like everybody else? Do you just want to spew the same stuff, say the same stuff? Or do you want to be different? Do you want to be a 1 in a million? You know, I'd rather be a 1 in a million and be more just open and honest up front, whether I'm at work or home in that sense, and not wear my mask. You know, I want to be different and be myself at the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So,
and I think you can.
Yeah. So do you think that marriage should make you happy?
No.
Absolutely not.
Nothing should make you happy other than yourself. You make things make you happy or not.
Exactly.
You know, I put on an outfit, I look like shit in it. I'm not happy. I put something else on. I like that. You know, those little things people do.
The small little feelings.
Yeah.
You know,
it's all about little wins.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Little one today. Ooh, I feel good right now. You know?
Yeah.
Eat it up because in 10 minutes I'm going to be angry. You know?
Yeah.
But just kind of understanding each other, getting through a marriage over time takes a lot of work, a lot of it takes a lot of preparation when you realize what to prepare for. It's a long journey till then.
Yeah.
You know, other than that, you're just, you know, insane, right? Repeating the same thing with no different outcome. So you have to understand the patterns and understand each other. And that takes a long time, you know. So I do at least recommend people to at least live with each other first.
Yeah.
For a little while before you get married.
And be transparent though. Like from the get up, like a lot of people go into different relationships. It's like, the main thing I wanted to speak on from the beginning is before in marriage is most people's intent when they get together and from the get-go. If you get together with the wrong intentions, you're only gonna live out the life that your intentions were based off from the beginning, right? And it's not gonna work because you're gonna go into it with a different expectation, and when your reality sets in, you're gonna see that it's not truly its identity in its essence. Like you moved with just, you like this person just because of the body, you wanted to have sex with this person. Once that task was completed, you were not really there. But then say for instance, you having sex, you had a baby, now the circumstances changes and you're following society's judgmental process and you saying, oh, we're going to be a family, we're not going to be a part of the way that everybody else says it goes. You base it off of other people's narratives. So you force yourself into something that it's not. And then you wonder why your relationship doesn't work. You was moving in the wrong agenda. You know what I mean? So like, I think that's what a lot of times in a lot of relationships and marriages, the conflicts are deeper rooted. And yeah, you don't have the time to talk about it, but the reality of it is, what was your intentions in the first place in that relationship and the way you were moving? Now the agenda switched. Did your mind frame switch on how you were moving with inside of the relationship? If not, then the flaws of your life is going to be played out, especially in marriage. It's not something that it can hide. It's like whatever you're moving in, whatever capacity you were moving in, whatever your intentions was, hopefully they were pure, because they will come out and pan out in your relationship, I believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I want to add something to what everybody out there sees, who's on your phone or whatever. You see the Bruce Lee will, you'll see him either, you know, memes of it or videos of it, or just his words saying, flow like water. And it's another thing where I think sometimes with grace, people just, well, yes, and what does that mean? Flow like water, you know? And I would think the first thing you would say to somebody if they asked you that would be, have no expectations.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing for a marriage. You want a marriage to flow, and you guys want each other to flow together and work together. So you have to flow yourself first. lead by example, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and have no expectations, especially early on from somebody, in the sense you're just going to take what comes at you.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take what comes at you guys together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just this process you work on yourself with first, and then you can get on the same board with somebody else like-minded as you and find that. But if you're going to be someone who's saying, I want to find somebody and get married and spend the rest of my life with, then have that journey, or just take that journey and flow like water with no expectations and no anything, and see what comes to you.
Yeah.
Because me and you always preach this. The universe always tells the truth,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll give you the answers every single time.
Mm-hmm.
You might not like them, might not accept them, or you might not like them, or you might love them, but you got to accept them.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is. But those little things that help at least bridge marriage and keep it going, a long time, hopefully till death do you part. And hopefully you find really what should be your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
The person that you're going to go to battle with day in, day out, or maybe, monthly, or maybe once a year or something, hopefully not much at all.
Mm-hmm.
But at least if you guys can find that in each other, some sort of common ground and flow together. I don't know, man. I don't think that there's a recipe for a successful marriage.
Yeah.
And for when you
that
talk
we
to,
will have the answer for them.
yeah, no, not at all. And that's why you ask somebody who's been married 50 years, everybody's going to tell you a little something different, because that's what worked for them too.
Mm-hmm. And did it really work? Are you guys just surviving? What are you saying? You guys may have just been surviving, but the whole thing that they gotta, like, you from wherever you guys are, just don't let the outside world predicate how your relationship should be.
Yeah.
And stop taking the easy way out and not asking those hard questions, and having those tough conversations with each other. You know what I mean? It's like whatever is bothering you, that's what he means by you find your best friend, because your best friend knows all your secrets. Your best friend, you should feel safe. Like we said in the beginning, it does start with trust, and that's in the relationship part of it, the boyfriend and girlfriend phase of it, before marriage. And you should already have the trust foundation quality already in there once it becomes marriage. That's why
when we went through it, trust is one of them building blocks. So it's got to be in there. It's just starting.
Yeah, and you are going to do things that's going to affect your trust, and it happens. You're human. You're gonna make mistakes. You're going through life, and like you said, this all coagulates together. When we say this, like, it flows, like it. I just like, oh man, how the hell I do that? That's what happens when you smoke pot on.
No, it flows together. You guys, you ride the wave together. You take the journey together. Whatever cliche you want to use. Mm-hmm. But that's what it becomes. Yeah. And understand that before getting into it. And sometimes it's hard. No, when you're young, nobody's going to tell you nothing. But, I think at least today, maybe somebody out there could listen to what we had to say and maybe drop a comment in there and understand where we were coming from. And
I know a lot of people do understand where we're coming from. I don't know why they just don't. You guys could put y'all 2 cents in it.
They don't like
what I'm saying? Yeah, they don't like commenting, and that's cool. Y'all guys just getting to know us, I guess, after 2 years. But
no, they know. Drop the comments in there. There's tons of comments. Being bashful now.
Yeah,
thousands of comments.
Yeah, we do. I'm just talking junk. And you guys know I'm just talking junk. Y'all know y'all stay in the comments. Do you think so? On the topic of trust, then, can trust ever come back after betrayal?
Depends who you are.
Yeah.
Depends who you are. Can you let it go or not? What is it? Was it cheating in a marriage? Some can let it go. Some can't.
Yeah.
Is it hiding money? Mm-hmm. Some can let it go. Some can't.
Yeah. You got to be open.
Discipline your children differently.
Yeah.
There's plenty of different things.
Yeah. Look, so that's what I mean. Like in marriage, I think that you got to be a real open book with your partner. You should be, and you should feel safe. regardless. You guys have to create that space with each other. That's work. It's not just going to happen by itself. You have to create that with each other. And the only way that you're able to create that with each other is be able to trust your partner with the information that you're giving, one being vulnerable. You're safe. Like, I don't have to worry about me saying that, hey, I like streaking, you know, I like jumping in the pool butt ass naked, you know, whatever your secret is, who knows? Fuck, I don't know. But you should be able to be open with your partner enough with that. Your partner already knows that, and you not have to worry about your partner going on social media like, oh yeah, my husband be streaking in the pool at night.
Well, shit,
naked.
you're getting into something totally even different, because I can tell you right now, that's a big problem in plenty of marriages we didn't really touch on, is just the sex aspect.
Well, we still in here. We can stay.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, as
Still
well
like
as I
believe it or
do,
something.
there's we got a whole nother show to do.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, whatever, like, when it comes to the sexual aspect too, that's huge.
Mhm.
Between men and women, maybe a woman having a baby, not getting enough sex, the guy feels like, so that's a whole nother thing where it falls in line with grace. We didn't say it specifically, but those are other things that are going to be in a relationship that's going to have issues.
Yeah.
Just that time, when we were talking about time, that included that too.
Yeah.
Being together, man, having a date night or doing whatever. And then also too, like we said, people grow differently. So fetishes grow differently. You know, eventually a guy's, you know,
Hey,
they change, girls change, you know.
Yeah, that's a fact. I ain't gonna lie to you. If we do got to shoot another show too on this, see y'all. We do it for y'all. Hey, but we gonna have to do a part 2 to this.
Yeah, some guys like, there's cuckolds, there's foot fetishes,
Wait a minute.
there's pee-pee,
Check out our OnlyFans.
doo-doo. There's all types of stuff. Like, you know, you got to grow in that aspect too.
Yeah.
To each his own, whatever you like. But
you guys got to grow together. You got to grow with each other and learn each other, because like
you got to understand their fetishes too. So if they do something that you don't like much, but you're doing it for them, and they might.
No, you got to be able to communicate that. That's why I keep going back. I keep alluding back to that. You got to talk to your damn partner. If you don't like it and they want to keep doing that, y'all got to figure something out.
You wanted a 3-way and we did it.
It's my turn now. You shouldn't don't be making those agreements if you ain't ready for the, you know, I get to stick my finger in your butt. No, you cannot violate me. No, hell, see,
we did a 3-way like you wanted with your friend,
and I want to do the strap on.
What? 2 dudes, the devil's way, the devil's 3-way. Yeah, that would be tough, right? If you were like, hey, you know, honey, I just opened up. I kind of wish we could, you know, come out and say something. She's like, seriously? Like, yeah. And you know, you're thinking like, you know, I don't know. I just wanted to, you know, we try anal or something, you know, not me, you know. You know, and she's like, oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I always wanted to have a gangbang. You're like, whoa,
32 dudes. What? That girl did 100. I want to do 2.
And I was thinking your 2 friends that you.
Could you ask your friends for me? Wait, what? Yeah.
Be careful what box you open.
Yeah.
Once Pandora's out of the box, she don't go back.
You should have been transparent from the get-up. You should have known you had a freaky freak. You should, hey.
Yeah, we should put that part out there. If there's any freaky freaks, get that out there in the open first, early on.
Let that be known. Don't just pop out of nowhere.
Yeah,
with
don't
that.
do it 10 years later.
My biggest fantasy was me to put on a strap and hit you from the back. Bitch, you got me fucked up. You'll get shot.
Saying that could be.
Like, that's crazy. We might
know.
divorce off of some shit like that. On the real, like, ain't no fight about it. I'm gone.
I recommend first date talking about that.
Yeah,
first date
on a date.
Okay, I don't mind a finger in my butt.
Wait, what?
But there's no strap on. That's gonna be shit. I should have said that. That's gonna be a meme.
I want nothing to do with that. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Never know what you're gonna run into.
Hey, listen, you guys, it's the motherfucking best audience in the motherfucking world, and you guys know that. Before y'all ever give us a like, love yourself, because you guys are what makes us worth it. At the end of the day, we are the Real Mask Call Podcast. Oh God, it's the truth.
It's a good one.
You know, and we can't do this without y'all. We don't do this without y'all. We do this for y'all.
Yes.
This is the Real Mask Call Podcast, and this has been
a
beautiful motherfucking episode, marriage. And I can't remember the rest of the title. I'm high as hell.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Don't forget, check out the news channel.
It's gonna be on the video, so y'all see it. But I had to say the title.
Yeah.
You know. Check out our other content. Follow us on all our platforms. We're on all platforms.
1 Foot In, 1 Foot Out.
Yep.
Daily Dose of Bacon.
We got them boys busting every day.
WIFM News.
All damn week.
So we got a lot of stuff. We have Halloween season coming up.
Oh yeah.
All right. All right, y'all.
Nothing, y'all.
To the next episode.
Until the next episode, y'all. Hold up. Wait. A motherfucking minute right now. Say.
Smoke weed every day.
Have an awesome day on purpose, motherfuckers.
Peace.
Tap in and stay real.
You already know what it is.
Peace.